Hi there and welcome back to the Gfinity Starcraft Spring Masters from London, England. I'm Richard Lewis, your host, and we've switched up the banter squad. Harstam's got to do some casting, so we have got Maddles joining me and the Muslim in the room. How are you doing today? You good?
Yeah, doing good. Looking forward to getting some of the games casts and seeing how everyone gets through and how things are going. First match was pretty intense, actually, and one foreigner already down.
Yeah, well, you know, I couldn't believe what happened with Bling. Actually, we haven't even talked about that. I mean,
we've been too sad to mention it.
I know, really. Like, obviously, for those that didn't see, Bling's obviously out the tournament, the hometown hero. And we were like, oh, we'll get him in here, and maybe we'll do a bit of analysis, have some banter. He came in, and he was just so disappointed. He said, I'm out of here, guys. See you. See you next time.
Well, he's pretty confident coming into it. He was, yesterday against SOS, he was, before the game, like, yeah, I've got this. Game one, it looked like he had it. And then just didn't go too well after that.
Sad times. He was really looking forward to a rematch with SOS as well. Anyway, just because we had a bit of a ropey introduction because of the NASL sound guys you saw from our little overlay, we're going to quickly give you an overview of how the tournament works again. It did start with 16 of the best players in the world. We're now whittling them down today. As I said, tears are going to be shed, hearts are going to be broken. We're going to get them down to 8 today. It was 4 groups of 4 players. We're into the business end of the tournament. And we are going to be using the dual group format. So Ben, why don't you explain it to us again, since you are our resident pro? How does that work, mate?
Describing the group format again. So 4 players in a group. You get the top 2 playing against the bottom 2. So we have player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. The winners go on to play against each other. The eventual winner of that match then goes through the groups, whereas the loser waits for the 2 losers to play against each other. The winner of that match goes on to play him, and then it's a battle to the death, basically. You either go through or you don't.
Probably the last time I'm going to ask you to explain it.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
I think you made it sound a bit more complicated than it really is, though.
I get worse every time.
Yeah, you do. You just add things. So the losers...
I'm like, how can I really do this in the most simple way?
Relax. It's live TV. Just relax.
Too much Luke, save me.
Take a deep breath. Anyway, we'll also give you a rundown of the results that you may or may not have missed, depending on what you were doing. So yesterday we had some great games. You can see that Jadong demolished Showtime, who we've just seen there against Hyun. Bunny managed to shut out MC, textbook display from him, the Korean killer, living up to his name. Bling, the man we were just talking about, got off to a great start against SOS, then it ended in tragedy, and Solar 2-0 against Hydra. So, I mean, what was the game of the day for you yesterday, by the way?
Game of the day?
Yeah.
I think I really liked seeing Bunny just come and perform as well as he usually does, you know, like consistency through and through. Like, you still like to hope for these foreigners doing really well. And I think Bunny's going to be the guy that actually steps up to the plate and really shines through, you know.
Well, we'll see. We're going to show you the schedule we got for today, or schedule.
Schedule.
A lot of debate about how to pronounce it. Both are right, guys. But you can see these are the main stage games. So we've already had Showtime versus Hyun. Next up, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, we've got MC versus Hart. But as you can see, it's absolutely stacked. Jadong's going to take on True, and Bunny versus Patience, which is just going to be an insane game. I mean, Harstam's really psyched about that one. Both of his bros going at it. So we move on. You can see we've had the Challenger stage going on as well. Now, if there's a player here that you particularly like and, you know, we haven't brought them on the main stage, you're going to be able to follow this thanks to our partners at Base Trade TV. That's twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV. So, again, real action-packed. Any games that you're looking forward to? I'll ask you, Maddles.
I'm actually really looking forward to MC versus Hart. I think while
convenient.
I think while it is potentially a little one-sided to Hart on paper, MC, as we were talking about yesterday against Bunny, he can always pull something out. He can always do something a bit unexpected. And while it's not great from a performance perspective, having lost to Bunny yesterday in that 2-0, Hart's a very different player. So I think it's going to be fun to see how MC goes to this. He knows what his game was, so he's had all overnight to start thinking about it. Just really have a good plan. So with someone like MC, a little bit of preparation, I think we're in for some good stuff.
Well, we're going to be able to check out their head-to-head as well of these players, which we'll just bring up for you at home. But you tell us a little bit about this matchup, Ben, as well.
About this particular matchup?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what am I looking forward to? I was looking forward to a bit of SOS and Saxry on the Challenger stage, actually. But
you had your chance, Ben. You had your chance, Ben.
You skipped me, Richard.
Yeah, well.
But this match, like Hart, he's a guy that was very gimmicky in the past. Like, he plays for Team Axiom. But over the last year or so, he's really been solidifying his play. You can see that he's just more solid, relying less on these cheesy strats. Because people started to know, hey, if I just play safe against this guy and I survive, I'm going to win. But no, he's really been coming around quite a bit. But is Hart as good as Bunny? And against MC's style, like MC's the kind of guy that really tries to force mistakes. And he can either look like a really bad player or he can look like a genius. And against Hart, I'm not sure whether Hart's well equipped enough to deal with the aggression that is MC here.
Well, I don't know. You can see that MC might have had a good record there against him, but obviously Hart's capable of beating him. And,
yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. MC looked a little bit out of sorts to me yesterday.
You've also got to remember those games were quite a long time ago. The last time they played was 2012, so this is a completely different era. It's a different game. So I think that's going to play a lot into it. And if you look at their current form as well, Hart is doing far better up against Protoss than MC is, and a lot of that is just down to games. MC in his current form has only played 6 games that have been broadcast up against a Terran player, whereas Hart, he's sitting there in the kind of 30, 40 games that have been broadcast. So just experience, and up against someone like MC, if you've got those experience of games, you've seen a bit more of what's going on, what's happening. Obviously, that's only broadcast games. You don't know what's been happening behind closed doors, but I think that experience in a tournament environment is really going to help Hart in the current match.
You see, MC's been around for far longer than Hart, and he's got a Brood War background as well, and he's the guy that's been winning GSLs, right from the get-go. So I think experience is actually on his side here. That being said, it has been a little rocky for MC recently, what's his organisation doing? And then you have Hart that's in a very solid Axiom-based
I got to say, I got a feeling that Hart's going to take it here. I'm guessing you feel the same way. Ben, are you going to go against the flow?
I'm going to go against the flow. I think MC's got this.
All right, well, we're going to find out. Thanks a lot for your thoughts, guys. We're going to throw over to our casters now. So we're going to bring you MC versus Hart. Take it away, boys.
Well, thank you very much. We are excited for this series as well, as PvT is always fun, and we already know that the very first map is going to be played on Iron Fortress again. But since neither of these two guys is Zerg, it's maybe not that bad.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not complaining at all, Roddy. This is going to be a really fun matchup, and of course, we're in the losers match here. MC losing to a Terran player in Bunny, and then Hart losing to a Protoss player in Patience. So neither of these guys really having the best time right now against their opponent's race. So I'm really looking forward to... I think I'm just going to say it. There is a potential for this to be a really scrappy series if neither player's at tip-top shape at the moment. I'm hoping it's not going to be one-sided, and I think we could get an exciting best-of-3 here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be close. The boys on the room think it's going to be close. We think it's going to be close as well. Let's take a look at the maps and the map vetoes, as we got those on screen for you. As it seems like the maps that are left over are Cactus Valley, Coda, and Iron Fortress. The vetoes for Hart were Echo and Expedition Lost. I'm not too surprised by that. MC vetoing Inferno Pools doesn't really shock me. Vani Research is an interesting veto, though. I'm not going to make this a bigger deal than it is, because I can't really look into his mind. It is, of course, very, Vani is a map that's very good for massive drops, in the natural, especially if Pro is on 3 bases. It's very split all over the map. But still, normally, Vani is a pretty well-accepted map for PvT. So that's surprising. MC Redis starts off on Iron Fortress. The second map is going to be played on Coda. And last but not least, if necessary, it is going to be played on Cactus Valley, a map that we haven't seen, I think, a single time yet on the main stage. Or am I mistaken right now?
I can't remember the last one. I missed 1 or 2 series yesterday. Perhaps.
Where is your passion?
I don't know, man. It was there. I was on my way, but unfortunately, reception was terrible in the taxi, Roddy. We need to fix these first world esports problems.
Yeah, they happen. Anyways, we are loaded into our very first game of the second series. It's going to be Axiom's Hart against MC. The map, Iron Fortress.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Zerglings of all ages, welcome back to the first game here at the Gfinity Spring Masters 2. We're spawning in the top left position of Iron Fortress, representing Trig Esports. It's the boss toss, MC. His opponent playing for Axiom, spawning in the top right position in the red colors. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Hart.
Zerglings of all ages, eh?
Nerdlings, man.
Oh, nerdlings.
All these beautiful people, they're my nerdlings, Roddy.
Okay, I can dig it. I thought you said Zerglings of all ages.
No.
I was like, well, what's since when do Zerglings
These boys and girls are our nerdlings, man.
Okay.
They're part of our beautiful family.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
We have a very beautiful audience here today. I would love to be related.
Maybe you are.
Yeah, that's
How do you
true.
know?
I've got a little bit of British in me. I like to say schedule as well, so I think I fit right in.
Schedule. Man, those guys were having like so many of those conversations early today. I think they were having those while we were busy talking about Mayweather Pacquiao over on the couch.
We can talk about that. As soon as one player starts beating up on the other one, then we can make our boxing predictions for the night. As of course we are pretty hyped for that one as well. Anyway, let's talk about the game. Interesting start over here by Hart, as Hart is going to go command center first on the low ground. against MC. It's very unfortunate for MC that he didn't scout this immediately, because if he did, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him be annoying with this probe, you know, like just stays it away a little bit at those SUVs, but also chrono boost out maybe a Zealot and a Mothership Core or something like that. Unfortunately, MC is going to scout it very late, so I don't think he's going to be able to do too much about this anymore.
And it looks like on Challenger stage as well, just a bit of an update for you guys. Hydra has defeated Symbol by a scoreline of 2-0 over there. So the group's continuing to take shape here. And I mean, Group D, I mean, it was pretty sick, to be honest. And after seeing Hydra getting 2-0'd in a ZVZ, it's cool to see him like 2-0ing. All of a sudden, we're going to have a bit of an interesting dynamic here. Hart is going to be following this up with a pair of barracks. MC still not scouting his Terran opponent, and will, of course, be scouting him last. Like you said, a little bit unfortunate because he couldn't see the command center on the low ground. But hey, that's also the reason why you take those risks like that on such a big map.
Definitely not a big deal, though, because MC's expand is still going down at like 3 minutes and 35 seconds. So he didn't really cut anything. He could have thought about being aggressive if he would have scouted it immediately, but in the end of the day, he's still left with a pretty economic opening as well. So it's not too bad for him. Now, I do want to fall back to a little bit of the Challenger update that we just saw.
Yeah.
I don't think it's surprising to see that Hydra 2-0 Symbol, because I mean, Hydra is just the bigger name as of late, or maybe has been for the last year. I know Symbol, well, once upon a time was truly, here we go, Roddy Soundboard, a force to be reckoned with within the GSL, where he was just making quarterfinals after quarterfinals. But I feel those days are a little bit past already, and I would have been personally very surprised if Symbol would have 2-0'd or 2-1'd Hydra over here. Because let's not forget, Hydra is the runner-up of the last Gfinity.
Well, that's the other thing as well, though, because I know Solar 2-0'd Hydra, but the way he did it so easily made me question it a little bit, because like you said, I love Hydra. He's a great guy. We saw him as runner-up last time around. I interviewed him. What a fantastic bloke. But it was a little bit surprising the way he started off the tournament. Yeah, man, I've lived here longer. I need to get this out of my system.
Man, we're like, you're just expanding the vocabulary of StarCraft nerds all around the world this
The banner crew is just getting to me. I can't fend it all off much longer, Roddy. So the eBay is going to finish up now for Hart. And so, of course, we have nice defensive options for him as well, just in case we have any Protoss shenanigans coming around. But really, we're just going to be getting stim, just making sure we can consolidate off these two bases, trying to get a little bit of scouting in as well. And right now, actually, Hart doesn't really have much in terms of map control. He's just kind of chilling out, making sure he can macro up. MC's got the middle tower. He's sort of being very active with his Mothership Core. And maybe not much action is happening, but Hart definitely is in a more kind of chilled out defensive position here.
Of course, this is just a calm before the storm. When, as a Protoss, you go one gate fast expand, there's not too much you can do anymore aggressively, and Hart is just not going to be able to do a whole lot, because he went command center first, which means great economy, but it's going to take a little while before he gets his units out. He's throwing up a missile turret. He's expecting, you know, maybe a crazy DD play, but much more likely he was expecting an Oracle, also because MC went for an Oracle yesterday. Instead, MC is going to do something that is very old school MC.
Hey.
What year is this, Jarazar? We can throw out that cliche. He's going to just 7-gate. Just a straight up 7-gate.
2010?
Or
2011? 2012? Oh, this is going to be so much fun. We have Gateway Heavy MC here going up against... And in fact, you know, we were saying in the infographic as well, the matches that these players were playing were back in 2012. Well, guess what, Roddy? We're going back to those builds right now.
Yeah, it's a single bunker. This is going to be very different. That is a great scan. And Hart is like, red alert, let's throw down some bunkers.
6 scans,
ASAP. He has to pull SCVs immediately as well. You can't be having SCVs coming off your middle line by the time that they are under fire.
Yeah,
and he's pulling them. This is really good. And this one unit on the production tab right now, that one is worth its weight in money. We could call him Floyd Mayweather if we truly want to. It is the Widow Mine, because there's no detection in MC's army. So one Widow Mine is annoying, 2-3 Widow Mines. That should be the icing on the cake on that defense for Hart. What a great scan. I don't think this is going to work for MC. If this works, I call Protoss Imba, and I don't do that very often, guys.
Roddy calling Protoss Imba. I almost want to cheer for MC just to be able to say that, but you know what? I love that okay, good, the SCVs, oh, they're repairing each other at the moment, but one of them is able to get to the bunker. Good force fields going down, but I just want to highlight, by the way, I just like the fact that Hart has the SCVs on the outside. It means that if you're force fielding the army away, you're still not force fielding the SCVs away from the bunker with the same force field. You need to put down more, and I think MC's counting the number of bunkers there going, oh, okay, this might not work now, and he's actually going to head home. We've got the Twilight Council coming down. We need to start getting some upgrades, and, you know, MC hasn't really lost much in terms of his army. Okay, it's not like it's a disastrous situation, but he wanted to do more than that, man.
I think it's pretty disastrous, actually. Like, it's one of these moments where it looks like, that was not a big deal, right? He lost the sentry in Stalker. Well, he's going to lose probably 2 pylons, or at least 1, and his real
that's true.
And his real tech is so delayed. Because slow gateway units cannot fight a stim bio army that consists of, let's say, more than 2-3 medevacs full. Like, you can have 200 supply of slow zealots and stalkers and sentries, and you won't be able to kill 70 supply of stim bio. Like, I'm convinced by that. Because you just get kited into oblivion, and your units can't catch up. You will never be able to kill a medevac if the Terran controls his army properly. And if there's one thing that Hart is capable of, is controlling his units properly. Like,
I think Hart's about to try and prove you right there, Roddy. I mean, salvaging all the bunkers, getting as much money as possible. Okay, I like it. Using it to expand while he's going and attacking. Really, really solid there. Actually going to try and stop that as much as possible. Unfortunately for Mr. Zealot here, there wasn't going to be a reprieve. And yes, an observer is going to spot the armies coming out across the map. Now, where is MC in terms of his army? Well, we have emergency cannons coming down, Roddy.
Yeah, that is just a really bad army against Tim Bayer. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do. He doesn't have a mothership core, correct? So he will have photon overcharge, and that is something. But there's no way that MC is going to be able to go up to 3 bases. The only thing he can hope for is over-eager medevac pickups, and then he blinks forward as soon as Blink is ready, and he gets a medevac full of bio units. But straight up, this army of MC would just melt against these bio units.
Very, very quick photon overcharge coming out of there from MC. Not even waiting for a unit to get in range. He's just like, yeah, I want to make sure this isn't going to be a thing from now onwards. He's got a good positioning on the pylons inside the main base to spot a drop coming in as well. But I mean, he's going to have to start multitasking and splitting his units as quickly as he can. A scan to check for that observer there from Hart. And, well, he's back into photon overcharge range. Good force field to start things off with, though. Nice pickup from the medevac. Excellent micro from Hart. And the defense begins now. That's a lot of Stalkers actually left up in the main.
Yeah, MC is doing this pretty well. Let's not forget that Hart doesn't have to take this fight. Like, I'm okay with him trading. He's doing a really good job picking up these units. Man, Hart's micro has always been really good. But he's overcommitting a little bit right now. Forward blink, that's going to cost him a couple of Stalkers, but he will be able to thin out this bio count. Like, Hart got a little over-eager there. Blink is ready right now. Blinks forward again. Hart is losing a lot of units. If I was him, I would temporarily abandon that 3rd command center that he has, because he doesn't have to. It's a 2-base Protoss. Like Hart, you don't have to break a 2-base Protoss.
You know what? You know what happened there, Roddy? I think Hart doesn't think that MC was taking the drop threat so seriously that he was going to leave like 10 Stalkers inside the main base. He thought, okay, maybe there's 2 or 3 there. So when all of a sudden those Stalkers came on the high ground to fight against the army as well, I actually think that took Hart a little bit by surprise. And all of a sudden it was like, well, I can stim and kite these guys back even with force fields. But once the Stalkers got there with Blink as well, Hart was like, oh no, I'm actually a little bit in over my head. He wasn't expecting that many units to come down from the main base, and MC is going to be able to, well, he's going to try anyway to secure a 3rd base off the back of it. That was a great engagement for him.
Yeah, that was definitely a great engagement for MC. Doesn't change the fact I still really like Hart's position. Hart has a better economy, quicker 3 bases, 2 upgrades on the way, but Storm is also being researched, and Storm is the first thing that's actually going to be very powerful for MC. Like, that previous fight went really good for MC. This time all bio units are together. I hope MC has an observer with his army. I don't think he does. Okay, he spots them. Well done, MC. But yeah, see, he still loses 3rd base, so it's still really good for Hart.
Okay, the observer's
Hart
right there.
Should go back right now. Like, it would be very stupid of Hart to commit too much to this. Like, keeping MC contained, that's great. Throwing down a scan on the army, awesome. You see what you're dealing with, but like, this is 3-base Terran. If anything, MC should be the one attacking Hart. Hart does not have to be on this side of the map anymore. He should just go back. He should run.
He's trying to get a bit of damage done as he retreats. We need to be careful he doesn't overextend. I agree with you, Roddy. I think now is a good time for him to move on ahead. His scan also, don't forget, didn't pick off an observer as well. So for all he knows, an observer is actually like able to be aggressive with this army. And there it is on our screen right now. Very, very touch and go in the middle of the map right now. And I mean, MC, okay, he's remaking his third base. He's got Storm now as well, so hopefully he'll be able to push out, maybe waiting for the next upgrade here.
I believe Ghost Academy has just finished up, which means he can start producing a couple of Ghosts, and as soon as he has... did he cancel the Ghost?
No, it's there, it's there.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind if he would have cancelled the Ghost Academy. So if he just had like 2 or 3 Ghosts, then he throws down an EMP or 2 on those sentries, and maybe gets a couple of High Templars. He made 2 Vikings, I guess those were safety Vikings. But Heart's army is getting bigger and bigger, so soon I think it's going to be okay to be aggressive. He probably wants to bait out a couple of foreigns, but MC is too experienced to just storm like a Marauder or 2 or a Zealot. He's like, he's sending forward a Marauder and 2 Marines, I'm just going to kill them then. That's actually really well done so far by MC.
Yeah, and especially in such an open position as well, where in order to segment an army and actually do what you want to do as a Protoss, in general, you just need more force fields than normal. You have to be more economical with how you use that energy. And MC just engaged. Oh, very nice. Spotting the Widow Mines were unburrowed and picking off 4 of them before the event even happens there. 5 are gone now, and he's going to be taking the engagement. We need to be very careful, though. The High Templars, they're really exposed right now. Good couple of storms, but I think that's all he had in the bank.
Yeah, he has no more storms right now, so even though that looked good for MC, I think right now it's not all that great anymore. Even though, I mean, this Army of Heart is starting to run a little bit lower on HP. Normally this should still be very good for the Terran. He has great upgrades, 3-3s on the way. These forward blinks are intimidating. There are still a couple of Zealots and making things more complicated than I think they should have been. But these Immortals are scary, the Archon is scary. It actually doesn't happen very often. I have no idea how this is gonna go.
This is strange, especially with such a great advantage in terms of upgrades for the Terran as well. It's basically, we've got the armor upgrades, but we have like 2-2 and 3-3 on the way as well. The Immortals getting stuck in the back a little bit. SCVs meanwhile, but that wave of Zealots is going to clean out the SCVs. Those Immortals have survived an awfully long time in the back there, and I think...
Such a close fight, but these Zealots are really complicating things. A lot of Mules are being called down, but these units on the north side, they're just running straight into Marauders. MC is actually going to maybe be able to make this work. That is so insane. He just defeated 165 supply of like stimmed bio with almost no storms left. It was just a few Zealots, Guardian Shields, good blinks, really good zoning as well. But this is not over just yet. What is the army supply right now? 42 against 47. But that Python is so close. The reinforcements are so quick for MC.
Exactly.
He might be able to do it.
He's just going to keep moving on in. Right now, he needs to be able to press the advantage that he has with that ball of damage.
Wow.
And GG, the Archons were too much. And MC takes game number 1. What an incredible first game there. A little bit throwback to old school there, Roddy. We're going to have to update the model a little bit because that 70 biosupply army that was stimming back and killing off that maxed out Protoss army, well, you know what? If that army belongs to MC... Okay, I mean, by then he had storms.
Yeah, I was talking about gateway units. I wasn't without upgrades. Like, of course, as soon as Zealots have charge and the Stalkers have blink, and you have an Immortal or 2 in the mix and an Archon or 2 in the mix, like that changes everything. I was talking about just the initial 6 gate that he had with no follow-up tech.
In all seriousness, though, I feel like the first turning point in that game had to be the moment where the Stalkers with Blink came down to engage the army when Hart was attacking. We didn't actually get to a point where I think like, MC, you know, he might still be a little bit behind because his third base did get cancelled after that. But Hart not expecting those Stalkers, I think he was a little bit more apprehensive after that. And that's why you saw the Widow Mines in the middle of the map. And he's like, well, should I be attacking? Should I be going home? And that kind of gave MC the time he needed to buff up the tech that he didn't have earlier.
No, definitely. That was definitely a small turning point in the game, but I still never felt that MC was winning this game. I never felt that he had the same economy as Hart. I never felt he had the same tech as Hart. Crazy. Second map is going to be played on Coda. I can talk about that game on Iron Fortress for a while, though. It was a really good game, and it's also awesome for MC that he won such a difficult map. I think Coda is a slightly better map for MC than Iron Fortress is supposed to be. And the last but not least, if we are going to get there, if this won't go down the wire, it will be played on Cactus Valley. But still, I'm still amazed. Like, the moment I saw that army running forward and saw Hart stimming backwards, I was like, okay, this Pro's army looks pretty damn intimidating, but normally this is really not supposed to work. But in a weird way, this was very similar to the situation that Showtime was in before, when there is such a large area to cover between your natural and your third base. This really worked against Hart, because he had all these units fighting that Protoss army, and then he had his reinforcements streaming down. But those were a lot of Marauders, and there were like 2 Immortals just standing there and just shooting at every single Marauder that was just walking straight into the grave.
That was the thing as well, because at the end of the day, these I mean, MC's army was halved by the time we got towards the end of that game, right? But he managed to keep it in a ball, and the supporting pylon was so close to the rest of the army that he's not warping in units and then waiting 10 or 20 in-game seconds for them to be there. They're in the action as part of that death ball straight away, and you saw the units that were coming up, those 2 immortals in the back there. I thought they were just going to go down really quickly to some stim bio, but oh my god, they were MVPs, man. They were like picking off marauder after marauder, and Hart was just rallying them over. It wasn't going to go his way once that happened.
I'm going to make a terrible pun, but I do think that was a heartbreaking defeat for Hart.
Boom! Well, that might end up being the case, as Wardy gives us a little bit of a shake of the head in disapproval there in game number 2, because we're on Coda, ladies and gentlemen, and spawning in the 4 o'clock position as the blue Protoss player representing Trig Esports. It's MC. Our red Terran in the 10 o'clock position has had a little bit of a rough start to the series. He had a really good start from that game, reading the gateway aggression from MC perfectly, but wasn't able to capitalize and allowed MC back into it. He now needs to win 2 games in a row to keep his hopes in this tournament alive. Playing for Axiom, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard.
I'm very curious to see what a Protoss, like Hearthstone for instance, has to say about that first game later on. Because normally as a Protoss, if you open up with 6 gateways and you don't have a Twilight, you don't have a Robo, that is such a massive commitment. And he didn't really lose a whole lot other than maybe a Zealot and a Sentry. But still, you delay your tech for so long, it's going to be so hard to go up to 3 bases on a map where it is already hard. And I guess in the end, did MC even have 3 bases? Did he rebuild it after it got cancelled?
He rebuilt it.
But I mean, basically the fighting happened like right off the get-go after he pushed that army back.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, he blinked forward, he sniped a couple of Wither Mines. Like, I could talk about that game for days because I still feel that MC was in a very inconvenient position. But then again, it's MC. I guess he's the king of inconvenient situations.
I don't think
still
inconvenience in his vocabulary, man. You just give him a situation, you go, hey MC, guess what? You have to win from here. And the most he's going to say is, what? That sucks for me. And you go, yeah, win from here anyway. And he goes, okay, no problem. And he just goes ahead and does it, man. So a little bit of harassment to start off game number 2. That probe throwing a little bit of a jab there, but we'll be able to get out and, you know, be a nice defensive probe, get those shields back up.
Hopefully we see bigger jabs tonight, right?
Hopefully, man. We need to be awake. That's going to be tough tomorrow.
No, we can just like finish this event, go to the hotel immediately, and then just sleep and put your alarm clock at like 3:30 in the morning, and then have a cheeky one and walk to the pub and watch some boxing.
What do you mean by a cheeky one?
Breakfast.
Breakfast, okay. Liquid breakfast?
Yeah, obviously.
All right, we're going to see the Nexus put down here by the looks of things, and an SCV deciding to give MC a little bit of a run for his money, and it looks like, well, I think Probe wins this by points decision, I'm afraid. Actually.
Wow.
Well, this SCV is brave, man.
How much HP does the SCV have? Does
I
it 5 or 10?
I want to say 5.
The Probe was winning that fight.
The Probe was winning.
He had mercy.
He threw that fight, man.
Yeah, max switching.
All right, we've got the Reaper coming in now, and he will be able to do a little bit more damage than the SCV needs to be careful, and that Probe.
I guess he was worried about the Reaper showing up, perhaps, because sometimes whenever you see, this is like a small trick, right?
Yeah.
If you have an early game skirmish between 2 workers, and it's clearly that one worker is winning the other fight, but the other guy is still sticking around to pick that fight, then most of the time at the final hit, there is either a Reaper or a Stalker showing up that will deliver that final blow, because otherwise, these guys are so good. They will see when they are winning or losing a fight. So I guess MC was just like, oh, I know what's going to happen, you know, within 0.1 second, the Reaper is going to show up, get that final hit off, and I'll lose my probe, and I won't kill the SCV. I guess that's what he was worried about.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, to be honest. It was like good fun watching that, but at the end of the day, it's not going to have some sort of bearing on the outcome of the game. An SCV, you know.
I know. I've left ladder games after losing my first round.
Roddy Rage, man. But it looks like that's not going to happen here anyway. The starport already on the way for our Terran player, so Hard potentially looking... Ooh, as we have a little bit of skirmish going on inside the main base. That's all going to finish now.
Didn't actually see the attack. I was a little bit surprised to see Hard sacrifice that Reaper as early as he did. Like 550, what do you truly expect to see at 550?
I think it might have just been surrounded.
No. The Stalker just killed it. Stalker
Just
Mothership
straight
Core.
up. Oh,
Yep,
he
shot.
probably should have came up a bit later, unfortunately, but he's not going to be able to see that Stargate.
So he doesn't know about the Stargate. Now, Stargate can be very good against this Widowmine drop. It can also be rather awkward. If your Oracle is out of position, if the Phoenixes don't lift the mine in time. I think it's going to be Oracle into Phoenix, but I could be completely wrong. Could also just be a single Oracle into maybe a Blink Stalker follow-up. I definitely think that is within the... I would just say that the great trick of MC books as well.
Well, and the Heart as well, possibly predicting some MC tips and tricks here. He's taking... I would say the satellite dish is not part of the hairdryer in the orbital command there, but he's hiding the Widowmine behind there. That's so sick, man.
I didn't even see it. That's dirty. That's really dirty.
You're Protoss. You're not allowed to complain about dirty.
And you know what I love even more? Like, I'm sorry, I'm really loving this. Is that he left 2 Marines in that mineral line. That's like... You know, I got some anti-air here, and the MC is like, haha, that's not enough anti-air, I'm gonna kill those Marines. Like, these 2 Marines, they are bait, man. They're just sitting there. They're sitting ducks.
They're like super mind game, man.
If this works, then like...
This is gonna be so sick.
Standing ovation for Hard. If those 2 Marines bait that Oracle into the Widowmine.
We're waiting, guys, and here we go. The Oracle comes in, sees the 2 Marines, and oh my god!
So good!
Oh, that is so sick!
Yeah.
Axiom Hard, take a bow.
Wow.
I mean, that's gonna be like a GIF on Reddit in like 45 seconds, Roddy.
It should be. And now there is no detection anymore because that Oracle represented the only detection. But Hard has another very big problem. Hard does not have a bunker, and there is gateway aggression coming his way. Hard, you need to pull SCVs. You need to keep this bunker alive at all costs. Hard's game, okay, he spots this army. Hard, that bunker is your life right now. He needs this bunker. No, SCVs, Hard.
He needs units in there. He needs SCVs to repair potentially as well. I mean, you have to expect the gateway aggression.
Please pull SCVs, Hard. Okay, well,
I mean, MC.
Okay,
I mean, he's
he
backing
made a second
off for
Oracle.
now.
Yeah, he made a second Oracle. So that's that changes everything. So MC is not going to overly commit to that. Hard even almost like, I want you to commit to this. I want you to try to break this. Because I did have 6-7 units over there. I was very worried. I was very freaked out for a split second over there. But in the end, it went all okay for Hard. Who's got a little bit of new haircut, by the way. It's very stylish.
Yeah, it's I mean, the players, you know, they got to keep up to date. I like how the Oracle's just following the medevac around now. It's like, you know what, mate? I don't want to have to deal with any of your Widowmine stuff any longer. We're going to be boosting away from the Phoenix into the Stalkers, and that is, well, very, very, very well rounded up there.
The meta game. Oh, double Twilight! That's my build!
The Roddy build's coming out in game number 2, man. Oh, dear.
Now, I know earlier today we saw...
All right.
Okay, there we go.
He heard you, man.
Yeah.
He was like, did someone say Roddy? I better check what I'm building.
He's like, I do not want to be affiliated with that Protoss crop. And right you are, MC. Right you are.
Oh, let's see how much damage we can do over here. Oracle into the main base. Ooh. Try and pick up the SCVs building the barracks, but slightly too late. That would have been kind of useful, delaying the add-ons on that barracks a little bit. The Phoenix escort there is kind of just wondering what it's doing at the moment, but I don't know. There might be some opportunity to do a bit more damage. Spots the engineering base still researching. Nothing out of the ordinary there. He should be able to pick off that SCV, and no major damage really from the Oracle. And Hard now is moving out.
Yeah, this is a very interesting phase in the game. This time, Hard went for Rex number 4 and 5 before he went up to 3 bases. This is one of those moments where I think it's very hard for MC to go up to 3 bases. It's like this map, it's not impossible. This is one of the more Protoss-friendly maps in the current map pool, I would say. But right now, because he opened up with a Stargate, that still means that, you know, Colossus or High Templars are a long ways off. Just now he's getting Blink, and Blink is very good defensively, but not very good offensively in this phase of the game. He's just going to try to stay forward. He hoped that MC was sleeping on the job and didn't drop any force fields, but MC doesn't sleep on the job.
Yeah, force fields, I mean, those were just excellent from MC there. Zoning out the army completely. Good micro from the medevacs at least to make sure that those losses were minimized, but now it's Hard. Just continuing to pile on the pressure a little bit more. Widowmine's in production behind this. Oh, and he's trying to get up the ramp again. This time he gets a little bit further, but MC once again with decent force skills, and this time actually, Roddy, he takes apart 2 Marauders and a couple of Marines as well. So I think MC now is feeling a bit more confident. Does he have enough energy for another photon
You know what I
overcharge?
would really love?
Yes.
Like, Hard should have understood that like Blink is going to be rather late for MC because he opened up with an Oracle, then was forced to make a second Oracle, took a little bit of economic damage. So I think it's very obvious that Blink was going to be late. I think after the very first force shoots, he should have picked up and dropped in the main base immediately. as soon as he's able to unload, he will always trade effectively. As long as like the Stalkers are not waiting for the medavacs immediately there, that he's going to end up losing the medavacs before the units are on the ground. That would be a great move by Hard. Instead, he gave MC the time to let Blink finish up, and now it's 3 times as hard to blink because now, or excuse me, to drop, because the Stalkers will blink forward, will work on those medavacs immediately, and the medavacs will take serious damage before units are even unloaded. So
That's a really good point. Spotting those gas-heavy units early on in the game would have given Hart an opportunity to make those drops earlier because of that delayed blink, but at the same time, it's also very, very nice there with the revelation. It's also a it's a timing. You know that it's delayed, but unless you're prepared to commit to attack right at this point in time, even the delayed blink might not cost you so much. And in this case, MC was able to get away with the blink. Now we have some harassment going down inside the main base as well, because we have a War Prism. Wow, he's being very serious with these Zealots here. And once again, man, sneaky, sneaky Widow Mine. Unbelievable stuff coming from Hart, but this time around he's going to need more than that one unit to finish it off.
Yes, 4 mines, man. The Widow Mine kind is so high this time for Hart. He's making way more mines than most Terran players do. These Zealots will die. Oh, they'll actually take a Marauder with them to the grave, because the Marauder was in range of the splash damage of those mines. This drop for MC, it bought him a lot of time, but normally while you're dropping, you want to go up to 3 bases as well. Like, you can't stay on 2 bases forever, right? Set the Protoss to the other Protoss, and then probably a 2-base victory did happen. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, MC is in a good position in terms of the engagements he's taken so far. He hasn't suffered too much abuse from Hart, from the harassment, but really he needs to break out and attempt to take a fourth, that would be nice, a 3rd base at some point in the near future. But with Hart always on the map like this, it can be a little bit frustrating for MC, but I like what he's doing in response. Look at his vision on the mini-map. He has like so many units everywhere, just constantly wants to see where the army is, and still doing work with the Oracle as well.
Man, no Orbital will ever look the same again after I saw that mine being tucked away. On
dirty Terrans, man.
Oh, it's over there. It's on the left side. I hope for... MC probably is not going to go there anyway, because there is a missile turret, so that would be unwise to send your units there. Scan goes down. Hard is like, alright, MC, you're going up to 3 bases right now like normal people would do. This is probably my moment. I'm going to try to fight. I think the Widowman kind is still very high, right? How many mines are we looking at? Like 7, 8 or something?
Yeah, it's a fair few. 10!
Okay.
And don't forget, one of them's the dirty Widow Mine, Roddy.
No, he left one of them behind. I think there is a Viking chipping away that Oracle as well. That's a great storm to start things off for MC though. But as long as you don't lose too many units, these storms don't matter. I like this for Hard. Just go for it, man. Like, take a risk. Go for it. Big drop in the main base. How much is left over here? Feedbacks are going to hurt a lot, but he's going to avoid the medevac. I really think MC should have feedback. He could have insta-killed 2 medevacs over there.
Yeah, the High Templars were just so far away, and now MC's in a position where he has to split his army. His 2nd army coming towards the 3rd base location. We see the main base being lifted off. But look at the DPS there. Really, really nice, and he's going to be able to go in.
The mines are very tricky over here for MC. He's going to blink away. Yes, he does. That's very well done, but there are a few more Widow mines. Hard should just kill this Nexus and get the hell out of there, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing he could do. He takes down the Pioneer. He's still dropping as well. This is old school Hard. He's all over the place.
He's going back into the main base as well. This is excellent play from Hard, just continuously making sure he is where the Protoss army is not. Look, he's moving away from the 3rd base now. He's conserving that army. Oh dear, that was an expensive mistake as well from MC, and it's because he's being pulled in so many different directions, guys. The main base now, I think, has another war bin of units to try and deal with that, and in the meantime, this battle, with the number of Immortals that MC has there, should be fine for him. But Hart, like the multitasking and the way he split up that attack into 3 or 4 places was just excellent there.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that MC is now down again to being a 2-base Protoss, and I will not question him after seeing that last game on Iron Fortress, but I think it's safe to say that this is an even worse scenario for him. Hart has a lot of map presence, he has a lot of map vision, he's on 3 bases, this time probably 3-3 is going to finish up in time, he's throwing down at 4th Command Center. It's definitely not over yet because this is MC, but it's very good for Hart.
Exactly. So on the one hand, you can say, guys, if there's one Protoss in the world who's stuck on 2 bases and you need him to win a game in any situation, hey, MC's probably your best bet. But on the other hand, in that first game, a lot of Hart's aggression ended up overextending just a little bit and giving MC a little bit of time to recoup. Right now, well, I don't want to speak too soon, but Hart's doing all right, by the way, because he's patiently waiting for 3-3. He's not, like, absolutely, you know, going at him with everything he's got, and he's just maintaining his supply lead.
6 Immortals against Terran. That's like, that reminds me of that one final of Aces Rock where I think Idra was casting. That's a flashback.
Oh my god.
Between Tasia and Sun just kept making Immortals and they just kept dying. And Idra was asking himself, why is he making so many Immortals? That was not unjustified.
All right, and here we go. 2 Widow Mines. Wow, actually doing a very good job against those Immortals there, almost killing one of them as well. And once again, the third base is going down hard, continuing to pummel at the increasingly vulnerable jaw of MC here in game number 2.
That's that pylon as well. There were 6 or 7 Zealots being warped in. Taking out that pylon really made things a little bit easier for him. He takes down that Nexus again. He might not be able to kill those Immortals just yet, as they are living up to their namesake, but that doesn't change the fact that Hard is in a great position. And you know, this is something that's very underrated. But Ghosts are awesome against Immortals, because you know, EMP just completely ignores Hard and Shield, and then suddenly Marauders are capable of fighting against Immortals. Not something that happens very often.
A great pair of feedbacks as well against those High Templars, and we're going to be hitting the ground running in game number 2 as Hart takes the victory to tie the series up to level pegging at 1-1.
Man, we're getting spoiled so far today as StarCraft fans. I feel like most of the games have been very fun, very entertaining, very high action paced, I guess. It's just like there's stuff happening all over the place. Hart was ahead in game number 1, wasn't able to close it out. Game number 2, however, on Coda, he did finish it out in style. And it was something I wanted to bring up right before he finally went for that big drop, which was risky in the main. But I feel like Hart has lost a little bit of his mojo or some of his courage in this matchup in particular. That he didn't go for like the big drops, and every now and then as a Terran you have to take some risk in your play against the Protoss, and like finally he's just like, alright, I'm just gonna drop. I don't care if you're ready or not, I'm just gonna drop. And it was awesome.
It's also about spotting where your opponent's army is as well, because seeing the High Templars at the third base and then, oh, I'm going to load up 2 medevacs again and go into your main knowing that there's no storm here as well, just a sick move by Hart. And I feel like he's, like you say, he was growing in confidence and really doing a good job of making sure he can spot where MC is weak. But that does now mean, guys, we're going into map number 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map screen here, where we have the first 2 maps already complete, 1 apiece. Nothing to separate the players right now, but Roddy, now we're on Cactus Valley. What do you think of this match?
It's cool, man, because we don't see a whole lot of high-skilled StarCraft yet on Cactus Valley. It's one of these maps where sometimes it's good and sometimes it's like not that great, speaking from the Protoss point of view. But I think it's a map where you look at it and you're like, okay, this is probably not going to be my favorite map of the new map pool. But then you play on it and you actually have a lot of fun games. You're like, you know, this map is not all that bad. But game 3, a best of 3 being decided on Cactus Valley, it's not something we're going to see a whole lot in the upcoming months.
And we're also in the losers match as well. So, I mean, there's an awful lot of pressure on these players as well. I actually think these are 2 of the more, definitely MC, and a lot of people would argue Hard as well, some of just the most entertaining players that we have here. And it sucks that one of them will not be able to make it through to the final 8. And, of course, they want to be able to get their hands on the Gfinity trophy as well. So we'll see which one of these players can actually make it to the final match, man.
That is right. We are loaded into our 3rd game of the 2nd series of the day. We've got much more StarCraft ahead of you, or ahead of us, for hopefully a very long and fun day of StarCraft. But for now, we're going to find out who will be advancing to the deciders match in Group B.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on Cactus Valley for game 3 of 3. It's do or die time for both of these players. We're spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the blue Protoss, representing Trig Esports, a worldwide fan favorite since StarCraft 2 was a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the boss toss, MC. And he will be going up against a guy who I can only describe as having an amazingly spirited fight back in game number 2, pulling his opponent apart in 3 or 4 different directions, really ace with his drops, but he needs to keep it going. He needs the momentum in 1 more game so that he can have a hope of coming out of this group. Playing for Axiom, it's hard.
I must say as well, going back to one of the funnier moments we've seen so far in this weekend, those 2 Marines being sacrificed, and well, not really sacrificed because they were kept alive, but those 2 Marines being used as bait for that Oracle, you know, that Widowmine tucked away behind the radar of the command center. So it was really cool to see, like, you know, just imagine you're one of those Marines and you're like, are you sure about that, Captain? It's like, yes, boss, trust me. Just stand there, and if you see the Oracle, just wave at it, and you'll be fine. We got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really, really sick play coming out there. And don't forget as well, you can tweet into us using the hashtag SCMasters. Let us know what you think of the games. Talk to us about that moment and the dirty, dirty Terran that Hart has now obviously become. What a great play we saw out of him there in game number 2. And you'll also be able to get your tweet appearing on stream as well. So do go ahead and submit your thoughts. And of course, you can check us out at Rotterdam 08 and Jarzar. Let us know what you guys are thinking as well.
That is so 2012.
That's
promoting your own Twitter handles at tournaments. God, Jarazar.
Of course, man. You know why? I was casting and I was watching the screen and I didn't get a screenshot of the Dirty Widow mine. I really want someone to send me a photo of it. It was so sick. I really want to see that again. And there we go. The scouting probe getting picked off by the Reaper there. Now, of course, on this map, the Reaper has an awful long way to go before he can actually get any more damage done.
Yep, and this is also not one of the greatest Reaper maps out there because there's only one entrance into the main base. You can only enter actually via the natural, so it's very obvious where the Reaper is going to hop in. I'm not surprised to see MC going for that one gauge fast expand. It's a very solid build on this map. I am, however, very curious about his follow-up. Is he going to proxy something with that probe on the left side, or is it just going to be a scouting probe and eventually he's going to maybe open up one gate robo? This is a good Stargate map as well. You know, any large map is in general a good Stargate map, and since that probe is now on hold position over here, I have the feeling that that probe has ambitions to warp in a pylon and see that pylon be the father of a beautiful Stargate.
Probes are dangerous, dangerous units, Roddy. They can build pylons, and pylons can build Protoss. Anything that begins with a P tends to be rather dangerous in my book, and that probe certainly has devious plans.
Now this gives me a Dark Shrine idea out of nowhere. I mean, opening up with Blink Stalkers is very good in this matchup, don't get me wrong. It's actually one of the most common openings in this day and age.
Sure.
But since he kept that probe on the left side of the map, and I think he's warping in a pylon, that really gives me the idea that he wants to warp a Dark Shrine over here.
Yeah, I think a Dark Shrine might be on the cards here. Now, don't forget he needs to wait until he has enough money for it at the moment. But the Twilight's still got a little while to complete. He's going to be saving up that gas now. I think you might be right there, Roddy.
You know, in a weird way, if this Reaper spots the Twilight console, that's not even all that bad for MC, because it's going to see two Stalkers and Mothership Core in the Twilight. That is super common. That is like one of the most common things you ever see, because opening up with Blink Stalkers in this matchup is almost the norm. Blink Stalkers are very great defensively, and you can also use them in an aggressive manner if you're taking care of a drop, and then the Terran unit, the Terran doesn't have too many units to work with. So if I was Hard right now, I would not be thinking of Dark Templars, but maybe Hard is just going to show me why he is Axiom's Hard and he's going to throw down an eBay and throw down a turret, but I'd be very surprised if he does so, man.
I think, I mean, in this position, I think MC's going to be feeling pretty happy that the Reaper got taken out with those Stalkers at the natural expansion, because, okay, I mean, the Dark Shrine is in a really, really obscure place. It's going to be crazy if you actually scout it, but let's say Hard does have some sick
Does he see
Star
this
Sense.
probe? Oh! That is so important for
Star
Hard.
Sense no longer required, man.
Yeah.
He's warping something in straight away.
Okay, he could still be very worried about gateway aggression, don't get me wrong. Like, this is the normal pattern for some Blink Stalker aggression as well, but at least it should trigger some sort of alarm bells, and hopefully he will save up a little bit of energy so he can throw down a scan. I still don't think he's thinking of DTs, but this might help him quite a bit.
Well, there's no now the engineering bay is starting up.
Okay.
I don't.
But is he saving the energy?
Yeah, he's
though?
saving
That's
energy. He's
no,
got
that's
oh,
one
no!
mule.
He was saving energy, I promise.
Do you have any energy left? Okay, he has energy left on this one. Dark Templar is running up to the main base. He has not spotted it yet. Come on, Hard, don't drop that second mule now, because if you drop that mule, you're gonna hate life. He's dropping Widow Mines, and he's probably thinking right now, this is too easy. Here comes the Dark Templar. It's revealed itself. But now we have an awkward scenario where both players are just dealing economic damage.
Yeah, this is very, very scrappy for both players right now, just constantly trying to do damage to each other. The scan will take out that DT.
Okay, that was the only DT as well in the main base, because there is no Prism or something that's dropping DTs. So this is the second Dark Templar. I think there's almost energy for a scan, but, well, there's a turret. That's even better. He gets it as well.
Nice.
So,
That was right on the edge of the turret's range as well, inside that natural mineral line. Very, very close there. And now Hard coming back with the medevac that contained the Widow Mines. As things stand, 41 to 34 workers in favor of MC. Hard, of course, with those double mules, and another DT trying to get in. Man, that turret is like possibly in the most optimal position, because it's just on the edge of stopping those DTs going into the main.
I really love the human force field there as well. It's like, man, Hard is not afraid to use his Marines for the greater good. To win.
The Marines might be afraid, man. No one asked them.
Yeah, man. These two guys, I really hope they get paid very well, because it's a rough job being a Marine of Hard. But could be a very promising job as well if he ends up winning this game. Blink is being researched for MC, Robotics Bay being warped in. Well, Overall, I think this is an okay scenario for MC. He did a little bit of economic damage, but he forced out 2 scans as well. He forced out the missile turrets, and he didn't lose all that much against the Widow Mine. So I kind of like his position, but you know, Colossus are still going to be a little late to the party. Charge slots are going to be late to the party. 3 bases is going to be a little late to the party, and High Templars are a long way off, especially since he's opening over the Robo base. So it's okay for MC, but I wouldn't say that he's ahead.
So like you said in that last game, Roddy, I think a lot of it comes down now to, yes, a lot of stuff from MC is late, but that's only half the battle. The other half is making sure that does Hart actually have the army and the will to move out across the map and try and do some sort of timing here and see if he can put a dent in MC. And I like that he's clearing these pylons before moving out, but the real question is, when we see these medevacs with his army, are they going straight across the map? Is he trying to take advantage of this late tech here?
Look at Banksy Esports showing me some love. Wow, I'm flattered.
Oh.
I'm like all warm and fuzzy inside right now. It's great to be here.
I like Banksy Esports as well. It's almost like, you know, he shows up, paints a picture of you on a wall, and then disappears. No one knows who he is. Everyone knows who Banks is. And, oh, a scan missing the Observer there, unfortunately. But it looks like, oh, very nice save, I suppose, on the medevac, and the Widow Mines are going to be able to get away as well. And, of course, MC with the Observer over this Bio Army knows that it's coming.
Force field. He only has a single sentry there. That's a little bit risky, but, of course, he has that phenomenal defense with Photon Overcharge. Yes, I did that to please out all the Terran players out there.
Oh, what great micro and excellent vision he had there to activate the big cannon. But of course, you need to be careful with the energy usage there. If we see like a mega drop or something like that, it can be a little frustrating to allocate that energy. But I think now that Hart has seen the Colossus on the field, Roddy, he's going to be a little bit more careful with this. He's thinking, okay, I have some DPS here, but I really should just take a base and stop my opponent from moving out on the map because my Viking count at the moment, well, it ain't healthy.
No, but of course it's very unlikely that MC is just going to march across the map with 1 Colossus. Cactus Valley is just not that type of map, you know, this is not Echo, this is not Expedition Lost. You can't just do stuff like this. MC is just taking his sweet time to go up to 3 bases. He actually, you know, I've played quite a bit of PvT on this map and against a couple of good Terrans as well. And those guys, they have done terrible things to me, Jerozar. I still wake up in the middle of the night with sweat on my back, thinking about seeing drops left and right.
You see those hands? You see those hands, Roddy? Those hands are planning terrible things.
Yes. No, because like this is such a large map that as a Protoss, you need to spread out maybe 2, 3, 4 observers even to see medevacs coming in from all angles. And a Terran doesn't even have to drop. They can also just run over the ground. So I think it's very hard to defend 3 locations at once. Then again, I have very limited skills. MC is a lot better than me, so maybe MC is going to show me the way. But I'd be very surprised if MC does not get at least caught out of position once in this game.
It's, whoa, hang on a second. Hold your horses because we have Dark Templar again, and Hart is going to be kicking himself just a little bit for losing some of those workers.
That's a little sloppy. You should never take a base without a missile turret there and a couple of Marines.
And we have the MC Stalkers inside the main base. He will be able to spot the drop coming in. He needs to be careful. He does blink forward.
The medevac full of bio units.
Very, very nice. There are
So
4
sick.
SCVs getting taken down in the meantime.
He doesn't even have an observer over there. That doesn't make any sense, Jerozar. How can he see that so quick when he doesn't have an observer over there? When I have an observer over there, I still don't see it.
I'll tell you why, though. Remember in game number 1, where Hart was like, oh my goodness, how come you have so many Stalkers up here? I thought you'd leave 3 or 4. Why did you leave 10? Same thing just happened there. Tried to drop. MC leaves more Stalkers than normal to make sure he's not open to this kind of Doom Drop play. Well, I mean, you know, it was like 3-4 medevacs, not quite Doom Drop, but it was pretty serious. Yes. And Hart, once again, paying the price for it. Maybe he's used to playing, like, so many Protosses. I'm sure you back me up when I say 3 or 4 Stalkers, like, is quite common, but to leave so many like MC, you don't always see that.
Well, 3 or 4 Stalkers are not going to do anything because Terran players will just drop on top of it. And I do really wonder what would have happened there if Hart would have just committed to that drop and actually unload. I think he would have killed all those Stalkers very quickly, but that's because we have full vision. Hart doesn't have full vision because that battle completely changes. If behind those Stalkers there is also a Colossus and 3 Zealots, well then suddenly Hart is not going to kill anything anymore. He's actually going to
snap.
CV pool. Storm is halfway done.
Here come the boys, Roddy.
This
and
is a large map. What is happening on the left side? What is the left side? There's some zealots. Okay, MC is going to try to send some zealots.
they're just line dancing. It's
MC
all right.
doesn't know this yet. He's going to see the Vikings, and I think now he knows. I mean, this was double starboard all the way. I think he might sacrifice that Nexus because MC knows if he has Storm and
But
Colossus.
Storm won't be ready, Roddy. It's not going to be ready.
You'd be surprised, man, what Protoss can do to buy time.
Okay, well, we're going to have to see that now. No force fields initially, and we're going to move all the way back. Well, now one of the Nexi is vulnerable as well, and the Colossi need to start doing a lot of damage. The SCVs melt in front, but the Vikings are doing so much damage.
7, 6. Yeah, he needs a couple of storms. His storm is going to be ready in 2 or 3 seconds. Does MC have enough left on the ground? He has a lot of zealots as well. Great storm on the left side. I think MC is going to have an... is he though?
The first storm landed as the last Colossus died, Roddy, and...
No, I think it's good enough. I really think it's good enough right now. That second storm,
Oh.
the Archon, he's going to wipe in a lot of additional zealots. If I was Hard is down 20 supply. Hard is in a bit of a pickle, as you would say.
that was that was such
a big pickle.
That was strange. Big pickle, massive gherkin. He's in right now. This is it's not even a pickle anymore, guys. It's a full-blown gherkin. But Hart, I mean, you can understand him going into that engagement going, oh, okay, you're kiting back with your Colossi, you don't have Storm yet, I'm going to go and take this engagement. The start of that seemed to look really good, and I thought, oh, hang on a second, this is really difficult for the Protoss, because if Storm and Colossus are not there at the same time, it's one after the other. Of course, it's nowhere near as good as if you have both, Roddy. And MC just managed to hold off that attack with one or the other.
If he can just kill this Nexus, then I think Hart is still in this. Go and just kill the Nexus, ignore probes, and I really think he should have tried to get it. Even if he ends up losing a few Marauders there, if he kills that Nexus, then he's actually mining more than MC. Despite the fact that he's down 12 workers, he has triple orbital, he'll be more than fine. But he needs to do something about the economy right now of MC because, as you just said, Jarazar, he has Storm, and he has Colossus, and he's on 3 bases. Okay, this is still a large map, so comebacks are very possible, but it's you know, that pickle is still there.
Yeah, man, it's still there. He hasn't downgraded its size yet. The great pickle debate. All right, quick question, Roddy.
Yes.
Pickles in your burgers, yes or no?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, you're one of those people. That's all right. I can respect that. Now, in that engagement, before a second one begins, we have a scan coming out from Hart trying to pick. I think he might have picked off an observer there as well, and he's waiting for a possible opportunity. He's gonna have to move back with this army though. Needs to be very careful. Could Hart have done something else that might have won him that fight? Oh, never mind. The second one's starting.
Yeah, I mean, this is maybe not a terrible fight. It seems like Hart is doing very good on the right side of the map over there. He picked off a couple of zealots. Oh, he's gonna try his luck again, and still, there's no observer. This time, MC doesn't have any units into the main base. Nope. This could be a very promising drop for Hart. Like I said, Cactus Valley is a map where eventually you will be caught out of position as a Protoss player, even if your name is MC. He has a cannon. He's probably gonna drop Photon Overture. Oh, he has a Colossus. That's gonna help out a little bit. That Forge doesn't really hurt MC because I think he already has the upgrades that he wants to, and there's at least nothing on the way. These Marauders, they want that Colossus.
They want it, and I think they're going to get it as well. And there we go, the Colossus goes down. Only units being warped in one at a time. And I like that Hart's moving back with the rest of the army as well. DT coming down, Scan to take it out, and MC is having real problems in his main base right now.
Yeah, it's so hard, man. You have to defend so many locations at once. A couple of Stalkers out of position over here. Hart is going to commit into the natural. No, he's not going to do that. Probably a wise decision. He's going to just kite a couple of Zealots back and forth. But this drop is still alive. This time I think it will get taken care of by the Colossus and 2 Dark Templars. So overall I think MC handled that relatively well. But Hart did buy a lot of time for himself.
I love the way he's moving the army over to the left-hand side though, Roddy, because there's a follow-up attack going into the natural and he's pulling MC's army the maximum distance away from defending.
This is scrappy, like you said, man. You predicted this in the start of the series, that it could be very scrappy. Like right now there are medevacs, empty medevacs flying around. There are a couple bio units over here, there are a couple bio units over there, and there are 2 armies, big armies, chasing each other in the middle of the map. But the upgrades, man, like I was wondering why these Zealots were not dying. Well, you wonder why, because this Terran is on 1-1. And a 1-1 Terran fighting against +2 armor of Protoss, well, it's going to be very rough.
Yeah, it is indeed. Just very, very solid amount of DPS getting soaked up. And I think MC's recognized this as well. He's a little bit more Zealot heavy in this counter-attacking composition here. And now Hart is finding himself on the back foot. He's just over 30 supply down right now. And MC suffered a lot of damage in that attack. But the one thing that didn't get killed, Roddy, was the army. And now MC's back with a vengeance. I mean, he's got the Archons there. He's got the Colossi there. DTs. Hart can't afford to scan forever and a day. I mean, this is This is a very tricky situation, and I'm not sure Hart can survive it.
I think it's all Ogre as well. A couple of Zealots going to town on these SCVs that are just like...
That's like
left
whack-a-mole,
home.
man.
Yeah, on the right side. There are a couple of Vikings in the mist, but these Colossus have +2 armor as well. Few Widow Mines hoping for okay shots, but he just doesn't have the bio units anymore. It seems like MC is going to be our player that will advance to the winners match of Group B after winning the final game. And he won an Iron Fortress and Cactus Valley, as GG is called.
GG.
Very impressive.
Wow.
I am killing it.
What a game. And MC, look at this. Like he knew it all along. He's like, yeah, whatever. All right, send me the next victim.
Yeah, a great series, man. I really enjoyed it. A lot of action happening around that SCV pool, of course, in the final game. That is the most pivotal moment, I guess you could say. And even though it looked like he was going to arrive before Storm, and he sort of did, in the end, a couple of Storms were good enough. MC had great macro behind it. He wiped in a lot of Zealots, and you know, with an Immortal or two that survived, and then an Archon, he was just able to push that army back. And as soon as you get pushed back as a Terran in that position, you know, 1-1 upgrades. Even I think the drop in the main base did very well. Got a Colossus, got some Zealots, got some High Templar, or got some DTs. It was just not enough. And I do really want to mention this one moment before when Hart was putting on a little bit of pressure when he lost one of these medefacts.
Yep,
the fact
sure.
that he went up to 3 bases without dropping a missile turret in that expand, I think that's a really big mistake. Losing 6-7 SCVs against a single Dark Templar, like, you know, a Protoss is going to try his luck. If you have a Dark Shrine, you're going to try.
And that was after the turret went up in the natural expansion as well. I mean, he managed to get that up. He killed off a couple of DTs. We were commenting on how, oh, actually, that looked very good. But he actually came back and managed to kill so many SCVs in the third base as well. So I think that's a really good point. This entire series, to be honest, we saw MC is lost to a Terran already. We saw Hart is lost to a Protoss already, and we were thinking, well, hang on a second, this really might be back and forth, and I don't think it was going to be like a quick 2-0 sweep either way, and I'm really happy it didn't turn out that way, Roddy. Lots of fights going on here.
The first series was awesome between Showtime and Sean, and I think this series was great too. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys had fun, and I'm very curious to see. Well, let's just check in with Richard and the boys and see if they enjoyed the series as well.
Keyword there being fun. That's good to know. We've all had fun. We all like fun. It was a great series, though. I wasn't having any fun, and neither were you, because we got our predictions wrong. And it's happened again. We've woke up. You've come out of the coma. And
The coma.
And you've got the metaphorical coma.
Oh, yeah.
Not literal.
I like the way you're avoiding saying he was right.
It will never.
I was getting there. All right, you got a prediction right then.
A prediction, right? This is the second one. This is the second one, you know.
Oh, so, yeah, well done.
Now I got the number of games in a series correct. Like, yeah.
Baby steps. But no, I mean, what was the key there? Because, you know, it was a great series, lots of back and forth, very high level of play, but in the end, MC managed to kind of just punch his weight and get through. So what was the secret of success?
Like, if I'm being very honest, it felt like Hart was really trying to kill MC before things got happening. And like in the first game, Hart looked in a really good position, but then there was just one moment where he just attacked too heavily.
I think we've got that moment for you here, actually.
Oh,
this is where Hart overcommits and gets caught out by MC, apparently, if we've queued up our replays correctly.
So yeah, MC's just taking his third base here. You can see Hart's ahead in supply. His upgrades are really good too. Storm's on its way, but there's no real Colossi threat to worry about. And as you see, Hart's at third. It's up and running and pretty decently saturated. So what does Hart really want to do in this situation? Well, he moves out onto the map. It's good, like sharking around and stuff, trying to put pressure on your opponent. But here, realistically, all he wants to do is delay that third or maybe get a good angle on that third. But there is a fight that MC takes. In fact, I think there's a fight at the natural that Hart just sticks around for a bit too long, and MC really pounces on him. And one thing about MC's play here, he's got so many stalkers. Like, normally you don't really go for that in this matchup, but he manages to make it work with a pretty good angle. So here, Hart, does he go up to this third and cancel it? Yes, he does. But then he kind of smells blood in the water and really goes for it. And that was a really crucial move there. If MC walked on those mines, he'd have been dead as a dodo. But here, Hart just overextends just a little bit too much.
What are your thoughts, Maddles, watching this?
The observer placement's really good there for MC, because that's how he knows about the mines. That's why he didn't follow on through. So Hart's feeling quite confident, but it's so easy to go wrong. Like, Hart, he is ahead in upgrades. He's about to get 2-2 to finish up as well. So that's obviously nice for him. He's got a good advantage there. But this is where MC really starts just chasing down, tries to just pick off a little bit, gets a bit. But there's the stim from Hart moving in. And if you do overcommit here, MC's got quite a large army there.
So as things are going around, like Hart, you see, he's totally set up. He's got 3 bases rolling. This Nexus, it's not even going back up. You know, MC has no intention of ever getting a third back up and rolling, I believe. Oh, there we are. Like, he does actually get it up. But, you know, if the game was to go on from that point in time, Hart just gets some ghosts, goes for 200 supply, superior upgrades and such. He'd been in great shape, and there's no Colossi on the field whatsoever. So that huge AoE ball, all you need to do is make sure that you EMP the High Templars, and there's no damage coming from that Protoss army. So Hart just really felt he was ahead and then just tried to push it. The same happened in the third game. The big SV all in with all the Vikings and such, but sometimes you just have to wait. You have to be like cautious. Like Bunny we saw against MC, he was just there to take MC, whereas Hart, he tried to play aggressive into MC, and you can't be doing that every time, you know. Like MC, I think he is a more well-rounded player than Hart. But that being said, Hart in a few of these games, he should have taken that series. He really should have.
Yeah, I agree. We got some another moment here, which is MC and some Marauder play here. Obviously,
some Marauder play from MC, eh?
Yeah.
Ah, awesome.
Apparently.
Oh, this Marauder play from Hart.
Hart, sorry.
Yep.
That's what they told me in the year. You know me, I don't know what's going on. But so talk us through this, Maddles.
So at the moment, we just got a nice position, good blink microwave. That storm didn't really hit the money, but immediately Hart's having to just pull away because there's a lot of stuff there for MC. And again, we're just getting these like little pokes and prods, but they're always coming off just a bit better for MC. And MC's got all the vision as well. But this is the ghost play, which Ben was talking about. One good EMP on the storms, or anyone on the High Templar on this army can be really devastating. But if I recall correctly, doesn't get it off.
One thing that happened here, MC plays so aggressive with Stalkers. Like normally they're a pretty crap unit against Marauders. They take a lot of damage, they don't really deal a lot of damage. And MC blinks in anyway. And then Hart, he doesn't really know what to do about that, because I don't think any other Protoss really does that. And you see, again, he blinks in, very, very aggressive, keeps on chasing down Hart. And Hart didn't anticipate this whatsoever. If he stayed back and got a good 3 or 4 ghosts together, that whole army gets EMP'd. But MC, he dealt with this very, very well. Like, he knew, okay, if this game goes on for an extra 20 seconds, and literally a small window like that, and he took advantage of it. Like, MC, he's such a well-calculated player, and he knows how to play aggressive, but what he also knows is how to win and when to win. And that game, that particular game, he was so far behind, but there was a 10-second window where he could possibly win, and he did it, and he did it well.
He did some nice stuff as well when he chased into the base there, getting the time warp down, a couple of force fields, just segmenting off the army, taking in bite-sized chunks, and it never really allowed Hart just to regroup, kind of compose himself before taking that. MC saw the opportunity, got a bit of momentum, and just kept steamrolling through.
Well, we can see how we closed the game out as well with our next replay, so that should be coming with us in a moment. But like you say, strong finish to the game really from MC.
Really strong finish. Like in the third game, he was getting attacked. Storm was on the way. He was trying to buy time. It looked really grim for a second. Lost all his Colossi. Then Storm kicked in, but just through pretty solid fundamentals and his damage control, like crisis management. His economy wasn't great, but his opponent's economy was worse, and he realised that. He realised, hey, I'm not dead here. Just managed to scramble units together. Good High Templar army, a few Colossi added in too. And even these run-bys going on here, this is when MC is really far ahead. Like, he's just strangling his opponent. He's got his main army outside the base while sending a small squadron to deal with the economy elsewhere. And here, just a well-executed fight. Hart's trying his best to focus down the Colossi one by one, but MC just overwhelming at this point, and it's a game of numbers here, and what a good comeback by MC.
There's just not enough Vikings there to be able to deal with that number of Colossus, and MC, he just slowly moves forward, he focuses down the Vikings as well, and from this point it's pretty plain sailing as we see the GG come out, but
I do like a good Colossus. I'm known for that. But
a good Colossus, eh?
Nothing beats the Immortals.
No, I was about to say, you and your Immortals, man.
They're my favourite.
Would you be an Immortal?
If I could be anything.
You'd be an Immortal.
I don't know what that is.
Just a slight wobbling around.
We need to get.
He's doing the action. Can we get a gift for that? Can we do that? Anyway, let's move on to game 2, which obviously had Hart kind of coming back into things. And well, I mean, there was a moment here where, again, I'm probably getting the unit name wrong, so I apologize for that.
The Oracle, I believe.
Yes, the Oracle destruction. So we're going to bring that up for you here. Just talk us through what was going on and why that's significant within the context of this game.
Once we have the replay later
on,
but I remember like the commentators were talking about this was quite a cheeky play, like trying to bait in that Oracle, and he had it hidden above the command center, I do believe, and. What happened? The Oracle's a very expensive unit. It costs 150 minerals, 150 gas. The Stargate as well, 150. So for that single Oracle, it's a 300 investment. And the fact that Hart managed to hide a Widowmine that costs 75, 25, and managed to bait in that Oracle, dealing 0 damage. Like that's a game-winning move in itself. I mean, that's 300 gas that you've just wasted, and you can't afford to do that in this matchup. So the fact that Hart got away with that, then he was just all over MC, like denied the fact that he could ever take a third base, kept up the pressure, kept up the tempo. It felt that Hart felt very comfortable that game, and in fact, the whole series, all 3 games, he was ahead in a pretty similar fashion. Just this game, this was the one time that he let MC try and do something, shut it down. This is very similar of like Bunny. He let MC do something, he shut it down. And if you can get away with that, and like here, this is where Hart, he's got a bigger army. MC, he can't really get his economy rolling together. He's only at 50 workers here. And when a Terran's getting ahead on workers, but also upgrades, and Hart's just piling on pressure from 2 places. So running away in the main base, half the army's in the main, sprinkling over here. He's going to take out that third base, no problem. And yeah, this is just damage that you can't really afford to take as MC here. Even Widowmine's being separate, it's like separating the army here. Really, really crystal clear play from Hart, and takes down the third, and even dropping units continuously into the main. It was very good multitasking from him.
And all the while he's carrying on, he's starting 3-3 upgrades. He's just doing nice macro behind this, just taking control, and it's so awkward to try and deal with that situation if you're in it, where you've got someone pressuring everywhere, because once you've got that kind of control, your opponent's just going into crisis mode, as you said earlier, and while MC is trying to hold on and does an okay job, once you've got that momentum, it's very, very hard to try and come back.
Well, this was the point where I thought maybe the wheels going to come off, actually, because MC started making a few, like you say, the mistakes, the wheels coming off, you're under pressure, you're starting to panic a bit. And we've got some footage of one of those that's coming up in just a moment, which is going to be MC sort of missing some easy medevac kills, which...
Replay central over here.
Yeah, well, mate, they love the replays today. Yeah. They're saying, hey, let's do it. So, I mean, again, you can talk us through the significance of that, because obviously you know a thing or two
about losing medevacs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was saving you there because I think you.
That's where I was going with it.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't actually know about the specific moment that he was talking about here, but one of the biggest things that happened in those games was losing the Oracle. But was it down to MC making a mistake? I think it was more down to Hart just playing really, really well and Crystal with that, but let's see. So he's got lots of Immortals. He's got nothing that can shoot air with this army. And at this point in time, honestly, 160 supply against 90 supply, you're hoping for a miracle, and you're hoping for your opponent to just go AFK in those medevacs, or in those storms, really. But EMP's land, this is what we were talking about, he should have had games ago against MC, but there's no storms available. Yes, there's Immortals, which are tanky and stuff, but GG is called. Like, there's no way you can go up against that army without either Colossi or Storm. And if you have both, great. If you have neither, this game done. Terran's going to win any day of the week.
Well, if the EMPs not only went down on the Templar, it also went down on the Immortals, knocking out their shields, meaning a lot of their tankiness is just straight away gone. So it's really nicely done by Hart. He had 3-3 finishing up as well at that point. So that was just a really smooth game from Hart, game number 2.
And obviously, when we move on to game 3, it's the deciding one. There was a huge fight in the middle where it was like, the game was kind of in the balance. So give us your thoughts on that, because that was a really good, back and forth kind of match.
You mean when Hart pulled the SCVs and went into the natural?
Yeah, I mean, to talk about that, I felt Hart was ahead that game. He went up against DTs. MC only relied on like a single DT going to deal damage, which normally if you play against a Terran, DTs are a huge, huge investment. They're a huge risk. And to get away with them, if you send 3 DTs and they all get shot because, hey, he's got a scan or he's got a missile turret, which is even better, then it's game over. But MC committed very, very lightly to it. But turned out to be an okay move. But here, so many Vikings to kill all those Colossi. They all get absolutely slammed. But here, all the SCVs are dead. And this is where charge lots are getting involved. This is where storms are getting involved. And MC, all he needs to do is hang on. The Vikings land, which ultimately is a bad decision here. Trying to fight against Zealots, they don't deal that much damage, but they take incredible damage. And this whole time he was fighting next to a Planetary Nexus, which isn't the biggest deal, but that takes damage. And here, with charge lots and pretty decent upgrades, he's got +2 on the way. But it's all about the storms here, just gradually wearing down his opponent. And once it gets to this situation in the game, the fact that he had like a good 20 Vikings to kill 4 Colossi or so, that's overkill. You usually say the rule is you go with like 3 Vikings per Colossi or so, maybe 4 at a push.
Is that an official rule?
I mean, not official.
Is that into Muslims' rule?
I mean, in my rule book, you don't go over 4 per Colossus. So the fact that he had a good 20 or so there, you're overdoing it a little bit. And if that game, if he chose to make a good 4 medevacs instead of 4 Vikings, I think that could have been a different fight we were looking at. But again, that was just Hart. I felt he was overcommitting a little bit. Like running into that natural, he could have been out in that third that was way more open, way more room for spreading and splitting, and could have got a really good angle on MC, but didn't happen.
It was what was happening behind was the problem. You can see there, 26 workers, 28 being killed off, obviously in that engagement. So there was a big commitment by Hart to make this work. So once you've got that kind of commitment, there isn't really a follow-on to Hart. He's down to next to no workers there already. Even before that point, a DT had gone in, I think it was this game, and cleared out the third base of it. And that causes problems because what do you follow up with that? If you're in Hart's position and you've lost all those workers, if you pulled some SCVs, you can't really transition into anything beyond that if you haven't either won the game or severely done damage.
There was one thing that Hart could have done a little bit better with that attack, and I know when you're in that position with a full army, you're really committing to win the game right there and then. But like the third was left very naked by MC.
Yep.
And we saw in that situation what MC did was he was kind of strangling his opponent and sending a small squad to eliminate the economy of that base. And all it takes is a few units to the side. So if Hart actually did that with a good like 5 Marines or so with Stim, they deal incredible damage, could have taken out a mineral line and left MC in an equally disadvantageous position within regards to economy. So there's a few things that Hart could have improved upon, but it's
Do you think that can still work though if you've already pulled the SCVs and you've already made that commitment?
I mean, like when you're in the attack, I mean when you're attacking the natural, sending 5 Marines to that third, that's 5 supply of your army. Yes, you're committing to this fight. Yes, you're going to kill all the Colossi, but if you can also kill the third, or at least all the probes at third, or even just deny mining at the third, that's units that aren't going to get warped in, because the way that Protoss work, it's not, hey, I already have these units in production like I'm a Terran, I just have to wait 30 seconds for them to come out. It's about, hey, do I have the minerals now? I'm going to spend them instantly during the fight. If you can remove that from happening, because each base is a good 600, 700 minerals a minute, which those zealots possibly wouldn't have been warped in the fight. So there's a lot of things Hart could have done.
Well, we're not going to be talking to Hart. Someone who might be able to shed some light on how MC was able to win is MC himself. He might know a thing or two about it. So we're going to go over to James Banks, who's with MC now. Take it away, James.
Thank you, guys. I'm joined by MC, a winner of an absolutely brilliant series. But the first thing I've got to come to here, MC, is you've got some new clothing, and I'm liking it. I heard you've taken up the skills of a designer as well for your new team.
My team told me, make your uniform yourself. So I found some good Korean designer on the internet, and I ordered them, and they asked me, "Oh, are you MC? I'm fan of yours." So I thought, okay, I will get discount.
Hey,
but
that's what we like to hear.
But didn't.
Oh, so they told you you'd get a discount and then you didn't get it. That's not good. So any designers out there want to help MC with some clothing, that's a little call for help out there. But on to the series. Now, first game there, you looked very much in control. You got spotted early by Hart there, but was there any point that you were really worried about it for game one, that you were going to kind of drop out and Hart was going to take the advantage?
I thought yesterday my game is really bad because it was not my play, and today I think my PBT 6 gate gateway unit Orion is really strong, and I trust myself. So I tried, but he had 4 bunkers and we don't mind, so I thought, fuck my life.
We'll bleep that bit out, but that's fine. And with your game against Hart on the second game, obviously, a loss, but it does happen. Even against you, a man who is very skilled at winning in almost impossible situations there. What worried you at that point about Hart? Because he did just look like he changed the game completely.
In second game, I thought my hand is little shaking, or maybe cause nervous, maybe. So, yeah, I thought in second game I made many mistakes, and he tried good move. Yeah. So, yeah, it was not special. Just I thinking, F my hand.
And for game 3, you obviously it got very difficult towards the end. Hart went straight in with the SCV rush. At that point, were you just confident that, okay, I've got this in the bag, or were you put under massive pressure and it was maybe a bit difficult?
I thought I'm losing in third game because my DT is not worse and his medpack play is worse. So I thought if he tried 2 engineering bay and 3 upgrade with ghost, maybe I lost. But he tried cheese, so I think it was good for me because I'm trying researching Psionic Storm quickly. So yeah, it was his mistake, I guess.
Okay. Now, obviously, we haven't seen you win a major tournament in quite some time now, not since WCS 2014, the Season 1 European Finals. Now, what's your game plan? Obviously, you are such a big star here. You're a player that you can win situations that any other players wouldn't be able to do. What's your goal and how focused are you on trying to get another win under your belt? And do you think it's possible here?
Honestly, I lost a lot of confidence and I disappointed myself when I lost against Trust in GSL. I disappointed myself. So when I was come to here, I tried some practice, but it's not fun because I lost confidence and I disappointed myself. So, but yesterday when I lost to Bunny, I got some fury. Why I lost like this? Yeah. Like dumb. So today I practice little hard before the match, but I think I'm still disappointed myself. So yeah, I will find my confidence and like the boss.
Well, we want to see the boss toss back, and we hope that's going to be taking place very soon. I think the fans need to give you a bit more of a cheer to bring that confidence back in you. But we're going to head it over to the analyst room once again with Richard and the guys. And thank you, MC, for your time.
Well, there we go. MC, always the same. He's a character, isn't he? You know, it's one of the original Korean characters, I would say. Yep. I think that's one of the reasons why he was so popular. But he seemed to be in finer fettle today than he was yesterday. So, we got a good feeling about him. Can he go deep into the tournament?
He's a tournament champion. You know, he's won GSLs. He's won everything that there is to win. And I think, like, just prize money alone, I think he's somewhere around $300,000. So can he go the distance?
He's made bank.
Yeah. I mean, like, history says that yes, he can. When he lost to Bunny, that was a big blow, but he came back against Hart and 2-1 against a pretty solid Terran. I believe that he will be against the loser of Patience and Bunny, so it doesn't really get much easier for MC. But that being said, he knows how to win, and he's got so much experience behind him. Like, he'll be able to turn it on when he wants to.
And I think that's such a really good point, is some players will get phased by being beaten 2-0 in the first game of the tournament and something like that. But if you are someone like MC who's got such a wealth of experience behind them, you just go to bed, you wake up the next day.
Confident guy.
Exactly, yeah. He never goes into a game thinking, I'm not going to win it. Every single time you ask him, he's like, I'm smashing. I'm going to win it 2-0, easy peasy.
He's the boss toss, man.
Exactly.
He's the boss toss. Well, look, I want to thank you for joining us in the banter room, as it's become affectionately known. Among all the crew, and obviously you're going to be casting some games a little later. No doubt we'll see you again in here at some of the points, so thanks for that, Maddles. You're not going anywhere, mate. But for all of you people at home as well, we have got a competition that's been going on thanks to Green Man Gaming. So if you want to win, or have the opportunity to win, I should say, some awesome games, all you need to do is follow at Gfinity and at Green Man Gaming on Twitter. Tweet using the hashtag SCMasters, and that will enter you for a chance to win one of 5 awesome games. That's all you need to do. It's easy peasy. Anyone can do it. Even an old man like me could do that. I know Twitter. Yeah.
You can't be trusted with Twitter.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But anyway, so we're going to take a quick break. Don't go too far. We're going to bring you more action from here at Gfinity in London, England. See you shortly.